Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we are once again going to be talking about that major storm that's going to be working its way across the United States, bringing lots of severe weather, flooding, and other impacts. There's going to be an Arctic blast behind it as well, so we have a lot of extreme weather coming up. We're going to talk about all of that within this video. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I want to know, what severe weather risk level do you think we will get to for tomorrow? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into this video, and first things first, we're taking a look at our day one categorical outlook here. As you can see, as expected, if you've been watching our videos for a few days now, we have been upgraded to an enhanced risk of severe weather. There is the possibility of a moderate risk as well. So we have our general thunderstorm risk there within the lighter green, and that's where general thunderstorms are possible, believe it or not. And then there is some severe weather possible within there, but it's not expected. Once we move into the dark green, we do expect isolated severe weather to take place. And then within the yellow, it becomes a little bit more scattered to maybe even widespread. And then the enhanced risk there, that orange region there for Texas and Louisiana and a little bit of Mississippi and Arkansas as well. That is where we expect that widespread severe weather to be possible. So let's just take a look at those individual outlooks quickly. First things first, our wind outlook. And this is actually why we have the enhanced risk. We have a 5% chance of damaging wind within 25 miles of a given location there within the green. The yellow is 15% chance, and then that red is the 30% chance. That is our enhanced risk region. So today we expect mostly a wind-driven event, but here we go. We do have a little bit of a hail risk as well, 5% there in the green, 15% chance there in the yellow, and then we have that SIG hatched region there. That's that black hatched area you can see. That is where we expect 2-inch diameter or more hail to be possible there for Dallas-Fort Worth, and we'll call it over Oklahoma City, although it does end a little bit there to the west, I will say. Now, the tornado risk, we have two areas of main concern, but really the whole area we do want to watch out. The 2% chance there within 25 miles of a given location of tornadoes there within the green. And then we have two 5% chance areas. One there for Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi. That's our enhanced risk region. And then we have one smaller one there for Oklahoma and Texas in between Oklahoma City and Dallas-Fort Worth area. You take that a little bit westward, and that's where it meets in the middle. So two areas with a little bit of an elevated tornado risk, but tornadoes are going to be possible in all of these regions, so please be watching for warnings, watches, and advisories, because you are going to want to be paying attention for this tornado threat. Please don't get caught off guard. You're going to want to just be on high alert here for tornadoes and any other severe weather threat throughout the day today. Trust me. Now, what we're going to do here is we are going to move on, and we're just going to take a look at the modeled guidance for the day today, and we're going to take a pretty large look at it, actually, and then we're going to move on to day two, where there is also a pretty elevated risk of severe weather as well. Very interesting stuff coming up. Now, one thing I want to mention quickly, I really do not think I'm going to be going live today, and a lot of people are probably like, why? But here's the thing. I'm just not feeling good. My throat is bothering me. I don't want anybody to worry about me, but ever since yesterday, I've been just having a little bit of a scratchy, dry throat, and I really just do not think I will be able to last long at all today. So I don't see the point. I think there's going to be other sources for you guys to get that type of content. Also, just, watching for the warnings and advisories yourself is also an option always as well. I would love to be going live for you guys today, but I really do not feel like I'm going to be feeling up to it. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll surprisingly feel better a little bit later today, but right now it's just like a little bit under the weather potentially. So I want to just take it easy and work on, making sure I keep myself healthy so that if I, do get sick, I can, have a better chance of not feeling that crappy. So not talking a lot, things like that are going to help me out, obviously. So I don't think I'll be going live today, unfortunately. I would love to, so I apologize. You guys know I'm sorry about that, because I love, just providing as much content as possible. So it really pains me to say that. Now, here's our temperature outlook for today. 60s and 70s and even 80s there, especially in the reds there, we have the 80s. And this is definitely going to be sufficient for severe weather, obviously. Dew points there for Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana are going to be quite high as well. 60s, even lower 70s. The good news here for day one today is this actually seems a little lower than it seemed like it was going to be just a couple of days ago, which means maybe the severe weather threat is not going to be as bad today than we anticipated. That's what I hope. But at this point, it's hard to say because other parameters could take over and it could really just not matter. But as far as temperature and dew points are concerned, it seems a little lower. Although, as we look at the CAPE here, convective available potential energy, We do have a very solid line of 3,000 to 4,000 to even 4,400 there, showing up a maximum of 4,345 showing up somewhere here on this map. So that is actually quite an elevated amount of CAPE there, and I think that that is going to lead to some pretty violent thunderstorms regardless. Obviously, we have a slight risk and then an enhanced risk. There's going to be some pretty bad thunderstorms today regardless. Here's our shear, and this looks like it's going to be moderate to high at this point, which I usually, when we have a high shear event, that leads me to believe the wind threat and tornado threat will be quite high. Today, it seems like that's going to translate mostly over to a big wind threat, and I'm not surprised based on the shear numbers we're pulling here. The significant tornado parameter does become a bit elevated in a few select locations, especially here on this frame. I'm eyeballing that area that is just to the west, basically, of Dallas-Fort Worth. And we do get an elevated area of significant tornado parameter at a certain point. This is probably going to be around 9 or 10 p.m., and we do get that really bright pink area, which is indicating that there could be a pretty significant chance of tornadoes or, some pretty significant intensity tornadoes. And that is where that 5% chance of tornadoes is set up. So we're going to be watching for that very closely. Let's just take a look at that simulated radar. This is going to be by about 2 p.m. here, 1 or 2 p.m. here on Friday, April 23rd today. And as you can see, there will be some thunderstorms and showers around. I think this is really what spares us from getting too bad of a severe weather event here today. This is why I think we will likely stay at an enhanced risk, because there's going to be precipitation and convection everywhere, flooding the area, and that is going to eat up a lot of that potential severe weather, which is really good news, by the way. If this was clear out ahead of these thunderstorms, we would be looking at likely a moderate risk or potentially worse. But it seems like a ton of convection moves in, and that's going to eat up a lot of that potential, fortunately. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on in just a moment, and we're going to take a look at when those thunderstorms are really going to blow up, and then we're just going to move it all the way through the morning, through the night tonight, into the morning, and then in through the night tomorrow night. We're just going to move straight through everything in just a moment. All right, now here we are taking a look, and this is going to be approximately, I would say this is about maybe 6 or 7 p.m. here on today, obviously. And as you can see, by this point, those storms are looking a lot more violent. We see a lot of those stronger cells showing up. By the time I reach about 12 a.m., it's the same exact story, some more violent thunderstorms. But look at that in Oklahoma and Texas there on the border, on the very western end. It looks like we get a bit of a bow echo developing, and I think that's going to be part of that wind threat. By the time we're reaching about 4 a.m., you can see a lot of thunderstorms there for Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, even Oklahoma still. So that moves us towards day 2, where I want to talk about the day 2 severe weather threat. We have a general thunderstorm risk there in the lighter green, a marginal risk there in the darker green, and then the yellow area, which is a slight risk of severe weather, which is where, again, it kind of moves more towards scattered in severe weather to even a bit of widespread severe weather. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see an enhanced risk upgrade, obviously, for day 2 as well, once it's tomorrow. And I do think that the tornado threat is a little bit more elevated for tomorrow as well. I'll talk about all those things coming up. So here's the individual risks. Wind outlook real quick. 5% chance within the green. 15% chance within the yellow. Again, within 25 miles of a given location is how we use this. The hail risk is a 5% chance there in the green again. A 15% chance there in the yellow again. And then we have that significant hatched region there. Again, there for Mississippi, Alabama, where 2-inch diameter hail or more is possible. And then our tornado risk is pretty similar as well. 2% chance there within the green and a 5% chance there within the brown. So you're really, really going to watch this closely. Please pay attention to those warnings and advisories, because tomorrow could be another potential bad tornado day as well. So by the time we're taking a look at about 7 a.m., we already have some pretty bad thunderstorms around for a lot of the Gulf states. By the time we're reaching about maybe 12 or 1 p.m. here, you can tell that these storms have moved more towards the north and the east, and they've become more like showers. But what ends up happening by the time we reach about 3 p.m., 2 or 3 p.m. here, we get another line of thunderstorms that develops behind this for Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, even Tennessee potentially, and South Carolina. And by the time we reach about maybe 7 or 8 p.m. here, you can see this line is actually looking pretty violent. And based on what I'm seeing here, this actually looks like maybe some embedded supercells there as well. So we're going to be watching for that tornado threat along this line of thunderstorms. And as we look at that significant tornado parameter, I wanted to show you guys this because it actually does look pretty elevated for tomorrow. It's on the higher end of things. We have widespread 7, 8, 9, 10 showing up here, and even a maximum of 12 being picked up here. And that is going to be pretty sufficient for a pretty active tornado day to be possible. So would not be surprised to see an upgrade there to our 10% chance of tornadoes somewhere tomorrow, because I think the risk for tornadoes is a little bit more elevated tomorrow than it is today. And as we look at that shear, you can tell it's again in that moderate to higher range. So a wind, tornado risk does not seem like it's out of the question at all. Moving back a little bit, here was the surface cape, by the way. So again, just a general 2 to 3,000 to even 4,000 cape day tomorrow, which is just going to be super sufficient, obviously. By the time we reach about maybe 10 or 11 p.m. here on Saturday still, you can see that we have Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina seeing a violent line of thunderstorms. This moves closer to the coast by the time we're reaching about 11 p.m. here on Saturday still. And then this kind of reaches the shoreline of the Carolinas, and it's moving offshore. It's still around for Georgia. This is by about 2 a.m., and we will pretty much all be said and done by that point. Anyway, for our confidence tab, we are at a 6 out of 6 still. We've talked about things that are 1 and 2 days away, so obviously confidence is quite high for this day. We really feel good that, there is going to be severe weather on these 2 days. We want everybody to pay attention and just be really on high alert for these warnings, watches, and advisories. That's the best way you can keep yourself safe during this severe weather event. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, which severe weather event do you think will be worse? This portion of severe weather that we're going through right now, or next week? And Zeta Derv, who I haven't seen in a long time, said definitely next week. And she gave a lot of reasons why and named them down. And I recommend you read it, but that's a lot for me to read right now. It would take about a minute, so I don't want to add any more time to this video. But go ahead and read that. It was a great comment by Zeta Derv, and I definitely agree there. Anyway, for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons: Property Damage, John Benbenek, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Alan Palermo, Adam S., Larry the Pan, Donna Carnes, Cameron Marshall, and Ada Mattis. Alongside our diamond patrons: Bill Roberts, Alan Cherry, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalessa, Michael Buell, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Kellen Manhart, It's Jay, Cindy Klein, Mark J, Luke Fallegos, Garys, and John Quilisi. If you'd like to be a part of this patron entry of the day, you can do so by joining our very exciting Patreon page in the description and in the pinned comments down below. I would also highly recommend that you check out our very exciting channel membership, and you can join that by clicking that button next to the subscribe button. To highlight those members, we have our Weather Top Dog, Hair Farms 1, and then our super fan, Phoenix Nimitz. Thank you guys so much. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like the video to help that YouTube algorithm out. Also, commenting works as well. Be sure to subscribe for more weather-related content, and I will see you guys in the next video.